Okay. Let me not rob you of your seat.
Good afternoon. This is our statement to the press on the violence which was meted out on Homabay people by the Linda Mwanchi team. The content of the press statement I'm going to read is to confirm that that violence and the 16th August rally was solely funded by President Uhuru Kenyatta. To undertake that violence, Honorable Governor James Orengo, Babu Owino, recruited very dangerous criminals, most of whom are facing murder trials currently, most of whom are facing robbery with violence charges. These people included the ones who were intercepted by the police on 15th, and they were in Homabay from 1 week before, arranging for the operations and executing the violence. Let me therefore read the statement. In May 2026, Governor James Orengo went to Homabay County, where he addressed people in public. In his address, he directed vulgar and unprintable abuses at the governor of Homabay, the High Excellency Governor Gladys Atieno Nyasuna Wanga. Governor James Orengo returned to Homabay through the lake a week later. He was accompanied by dangerous thugs who were armed with guns, machetes, arrows, and rungus, and who went beating everybody they deemed not to support them as they proceeded to Sindo, where he gave a public address while the thugs continued to attack our people. On the third occasion, Governor James Orengo returned to Homabay accompanied by the same dreaded thugs and hardcore criminals who were armed with guns, machetes, arrows, and rungus. During his public address at Homabay Market in Homabay Town, he hurled unspeakable abuses at the governor of Homabay County, Her Excellency Gladys Wanga, and the elected leaders of Homabay, including those serving in the National Executive. Thereafter, the Linda Mwanchi team gave a press conference and issued public notices of their intended rally in Homabay. Governor Orengo and Babu did several subsequent press addresses to the media, during which they threatened violence upon the people of Homabay, stating they had enough goons to take anybody who dared to face them into the grave. You have those addresses somewhere in Doluo. I will give them to you. The Linda Mwanchi team members in Homabay later on delivered a notice of their intended 16th August rally to Homabay Police Station. After the rally, they also addressed the media, and in their address, they threatened death and violence upon anybody who would be opposed to them when they come for their rally. All these were meant to incite violence and provoke the people before the rally. Governor James Orengo and Babu Owino then recruited the following dreaded criminals and ruthless thugs to execute violence on Homabay people during their Linda Mwanchi rally on 16th August 2026. Number 1, Oliver Jaoko, alias Olivetti, was to command the operations, and indeed he was there throughout. He is currently having murder cases, undergoing murder trial before various courts in the country. I'll be giving you those cases. It's a guy who has killed very many people, and he's a guy who works with James Orengo and Babu Owino, including in parliament here. He's the guy the DCI said jumped out of the vehicle which was intercepted headed to Homabay from Kisumu through the window. That I will also be confirming to you is a pretense. The police know where he is. Lennox Omondi, who is always with James Orengo and also blogs for him. There is a gentleman, a thug called Vincent, but also called Mungiki, from Manyata Estate in Kisumu. There is Otusa from Manyata Estate, Kisumu. There is one called Chumbinyiri, a well-known murderer from Manyata, Kisumu. There is Mose, another well-known murderer who has undergone several murder trials and is still undergoing some, also from Manyata, Kisumu. There is Omar from Kondele, a person who has been accused of robbery with violence and is currently facing trials for robbery with violence in several cases across the country. There is Owele Commander. There is Eze from Nyalenda. There is Festus, a well-known murderer currently in hiding, having multiple cases also and undergoing trial. There is Charo, currently having multiple murder cases. There is Ferrari from Baraka, Manyata, Kisumu. There is Aguambo from Baraka, Manyata, Kisumu. There is Lawi from Kona Mbuta, currently selling bang at that Kona Mbuta in Kisumu. There is Brown from Nyalenda. Kings from Nyalenda is a boxer. There is Aguati from Manyata. There is Roba, who is working at Berlin Lounge. There is Dabo D, Kaloleni. There is Obobo from Kondele, Kisumu. There is Odoyo Small, Koyango. There is Boy Samba from Stage. This is another renowned and dreaded ruthless robber who robs people with violence. There is and is the killer who works mostly with Olivati. Whenever you see Olivati with Orengo and Babu Owino. Governor James Orengo and Babu Owino also recruited individuals across all towns and trading centers in Homabay to coordinate their activities and to enlist for them local people and college and university students to support them during the Homabay rally, enticing each of them with a promise of 3,000 shillings. Governor James Orengo and Babu Owino booked these dreaded thugs and hardcore criminals into hotels across Homabay County, especially in Homabay Town constituency, well before the rally. They operated between Kisumu and Homabay County for a week, for a whole week to the 16th of August when the rally was to take place, even as Governor Orengo and Babu Owino continued public addresses threatening violence upon the people of Homabay and inciting violence during the Linda Mwananchi rally, which they scheduled for 16th August. I hope you remember Babu Owino saying they were going to Homabay to colonize Homabay people, and the threats of, if you are married and your son will be out, let him dig a grave that can bury him before 16th and before he leaves the house on that day. I will be giving you those videos if you don't have them. I had a public meeting with Boda Boda riders to plan an economic activity which we've been scheduling to take place in this month of August. When I finished the meeting, I found a huge crowd of my constituents, mainly consisting of women. I informed them that the Linda Mwananchi team had brought thugs into Homabay and booked them in local hotels to arm our people on 16th August 2026. I told them to stand firmly with the ODM party and behind President William Ruto. I directed all hotel owners to ensure they had full details of their guests and indicated that we would be inspecting the hotels to ensure they harbored none of the hired goons and criminals. And by the way, let me tell you, it is the law. Every hotel owner must keep full details of their guests, and the citizens have the right to arrest. In this case, I had information, and we were going to undertake those inspections. Following my address, which is now very famous and has been twisted, most of the hired thugs and hardcore criminals who were booked in Homabay County relocated to Kisii, to hotels in Kisii, where they made their base. And that is why they came from Kisii through Yugis, through Rangwe, through Rodi, going interland that way. So my address helped, and I would still make it if I found them in any of the hotels they are preparing to harm my people. On 14th August 2026, at night, Kenya shillings 100 million was delivered to Governor Orengo's home in Ugenya, Siaya, from President Uhuru Kenyatta. And this money was delivered in 2 suitcases, each carrying 50 million. Governor Orengo was not there, but he can confirm to you that happened. On 15th August 2026, the 100 million shillings which had been delivered to Orengo's Ugenya Siaya home was transported to Governor Orengo's house in Milimani Estate, Kisumu, for use in executing the violence in Homabay under the guise of this rally. On 15th August 2026, the police intercepted vehicles carrying some of the above-listed hardcore criminals headed to Homabay from Kisumu. This has been reported. You can look at the Facebook account of DCI. The police recovered crude weapons. The police reported that the gang leader named Olivetti, the Oliver Jaokoa was telling you about, had escaped through the window of the vehicle. How would he escape? I'm going to tell you later on that the police aided his escape and facilitated him as he commanded the team that was meeting violence on our people in Homabay. The said Oliver is a gang leader of Babu Owino and James Orengo and was with them in public all days preceding 16th August. I will be showing you photos of Oliver with Orengo all over, including on 16th of August. And he was the one commanding and openly walking with pistols ahead of the people. Olivetti and Morara. This Morara, by the way, is a bodyguard of Rigathi Gachagua. He was in Homabay. Commanded the hired dreaded thugs and hardcore criminals as they emitted violence on Homabay people on 16th of August 2026. So you can see how deep this thing is. On 16th August 2026, the Linda Mwanchi team were in Homabay for their rally. They were accompanied by the thugs and hardcore criminals I have mentioned, who used the following vehicles. These were vehicles which were hired by them. And by the way, you will note some of them are vehicles of the county government of Siaya. One of them was a vehicle of Honorable Babu Owino. And they were heavily armed, crude weapons, guns, and licensed firearms, some of which they even dropped in Homabay as they were running away. There is Land Rover TDI, there is Subaru KCB 720, there is a motor vehicle KCE 59259T Prado. This Subaru KCB 720B is Honorable Babu Owino's vehicle. And if you followed the event in Homabay, it was that Subaru you are seeing ahead, with the people in black, some hooded, carrying openly pistols as they were being, shepherded by police officers. There was a Prado whose number plate was not indicated. There is a vehicle KDA 077S Probox. There is a vehicle KDE 064J at Adimax. There is a motor vehicle CG. This is for a vehicle for county government of Siaya. CG 041 Fortuna, Siaya County. I think it is the vehicle, one of which, the thugs set on fire when they were being surrounded as they were escaping with their firearms. There is motor vehicle Isuzu D-Max GK B389T. This one was directed by the regional police commandant in Kisumu from Moroni police station, and it joined the team to escort the thugs as they emitted violence on our people in Homabay. There is motor vehicle KDC 04E stroke GK C5527B. Motor vehicle registration number KDC 115A stroke GK 0515C. There is motor vehicle registration KCM 537G stroke GK B669U. Most of those vehicles I'm mentioning are either vehicles which were ordered by the regional police commandant to shepherd the thugs as they killed our people, or vehicles of Siaya County government. There is motor vehicle, a black Toyota Fortuna KCE 704W. There is white Toyota Prado KDU 495E. There is a cream Toyota Land Cruiser KCE 259T. There is white Toyota Harrier KCA 300T. There is motor vehicle, a white Toyota V8 KBY 382W. These were the vehicles hired by Orengo, Babu Owino, and their team for use by the thugs the week before 16th and during the 16th, and the people which carried the thugs, which now you call goons, to lessen the violence they were meeting on our people. The Linda Mwananchi team had a rally at Nyandiwa and then proceeded to Sindo. As they left Sindo late in the evening, and they left Sindo late in the evening for Homabay. As they left, and you can review the videos, Honorable Karoli Omondi said they had to speak briefly at Sindo, at the rally, because they were headed to Homabay to fight the people. I will give you the video, part of which was in Luo and part of which was in Kisungu. And you will note from the video, Karoli is calling upon the people of Homabay town to come out and be ready. They are on the way to go there and harm them. I will give you the video, which the media is not reporting. Babu Owino organized the goons. You will see the video as Babu Owino is leaving Sindo, telling them, border ahead, our guys to follow. And I want you to look at the video as they enter the main road into Homabay town. You will see thugs in jacket ahead of the vehicles with pistols, walking with them, openly. So he organized the goons to march into Homabay town, saying they were proceeding to storm Homabay town to fight the people whom now he is calling goons. Ask yourselves, how can you say you are going into a rally, but you are saying you are going to fight the people? The Linda Mwananchi team arrived in Homabay town constituency at dusk, around 5 p.m., around 7 p.m., around 7 p.m. And you can watch. It was already dusk. Homabay town had been tense from morning due to their persistent provocation and incitement. As area MP, I contacted the county police commandant and asked him to exit the convoy out of Homabay, away from Homabay town, noting the town was too crowded, tension was high, and it was already dark. And I'll be giving you my communication, including SMS and WhatsApp messages, to the county commandant, asking him exit them away from Homabay town, because this would lead to the killing of very many of our people, and at intelligence they planned to do so. Nothing happened. Against my advice, police who were in several land cruisers and lorries and police lorries escorting the Linda Mwananchi team cleared the way for them through town, shooting people with live bullets. Shooting people with live bullets and clearing. And you hear Babu commanding and the thugs walking with pistols. If you are blind to those videos, I'm going to give them to you now. Around Homabay Stadium, they had marshaled people, I've told you, and supporters. They had enlisted some with university students from all over Nyanza and Western were in Homabay town. They rushed, the supporters, the Linda Mwananchi team had recruited, rushed to meet them. The vehicle carrying Babu Owino and Edwin Sifuna hit and killed a lady living in Shauriako Estate in Homabay called Lorraine, who was their Linda Mwananchi agent there. So it is the vehicle which carried Sifuna and Babu that hit their own agent they employed there. That lady who died was killed by Sifuna and Babu, and they just left her by the road there. The vehicle, yes, the said thugs accompanying them went cutting people on sight. And by the way, sometimes you can plan bad for people, but you end up cutting your people. The people they were cutting and chopping, those people you see in the hospitals, most of them, and that is the time you see them entering in Homabay triumphantly celebrating. They went cutting their people, not knowing they were their people. Most of whom were even from morning showing the one finger salute that we don't, of course, support in Homabay. By the time they passed through town, a person had been killed and several hacked and harmed by the Orengo Sifuna Babu thugs. They were deliberately slow as they went through town, as the thugs meted out violence on the people of Homabay town in the night. By the way, look at the speed they covered from Sofia just to the corner. And the police are ahead, the police are on the side, they're cutting people as they move. And they are playing that music of theirs, because the money Kenyatta gave had to find use. And it is in the night. What rally was taking place in the night, even by law? From Homabay town, they proceeded to Kindu Bay, where again they stopped as thugs meted violence on our people. And you see James Orengo saying people stopped him. Those are their people they mobilized from the morning. But as they were speaking to people Kindu, now it is approaching 9 p.m., 9 to 10. It is dark. They are still hacking people. The thing was to stop so that the thugs they had paid hurt as many of our people as possible. Throughout their journey of violence in Homabay County, the Linda Mwanchi team had the full support and were escorted by lorries and land cruisers of police, including GSU officers. Review those videos. Behind them were 4 lorries. Ahead, actually 3 lorries. Ahead, 2 lorries of GSU. Then you have land cruisers. I know the police were under instructions to abet and aid the Goons as they attacked our people. The regional commandant based in Kisumu was personally in charge of the operations to guard the Linda Mwanchi Goons as they emitted violence on our people and to abet their criminal activities, which included openly brandishing firearms as they moved through Homabay town. I mean, how does police walk with civilians carrying pistols openly? The way you see command, and that is why even the county police commandant and the police officers in that operation could not even heed me as the leader to take measures that would reduce harm to our people. Mr. Brian Weke, and you never saw him in Homabay on 16th. I want to tell you where he was. He met the regional police commandant on 16th and passed to her Kenya shillings 5 million for full police support as Linda Mwanchi team and Goons killed and maimed our people. And by the way, after the regional police commandant received this money, she was now commanding the operations not from Kisumu, but she was taken to her home in Migori, where she was, commanding from. And she could not be reached to give instructions to ameliorate the suffering of our people. Even the operations order issued by the police on the day appeared to indicate that the Linda Mwanchi thugs, the ones who were intercepted on 15th, were people going to interfere with the rally. Despite this being thugs known to be thugs of Babu Owino and Orengo and recruited to go and kill people under the guise of that purported rally. I want to thank our people, and this I want to say from the very deep bottom of my heart. I want to thank the people of Homabay for keeping peace against provocation and incitement to violence. I especially want to thank our young people, the ODM Youth League of Homabay, for exercising extreme restraint, even as our enemies meted violence on our people. If our youths did not restrain themselves, and I thank them, we would be talking of different stories. Our youths, thank you so much for keeping peace. And if you saw even the people who were in town, it was 2 finger salute and chants of 2 term, nothing in the hand. If they did not exercise restraint, we would be talking of a different story today. We demand security provision for the governor of Homabay County, Her Excellency Gladys Wanga. The thugs had instructions from their principals to kill her on 16th August 2026. Her life remains under grim danger and threat. And if you look at even the posts they are making, they are still threatening. They are still threatening. So we are asking the state security apparatus to firm her support. We demand the immediate transfer from Homabay of the Nyanza, not from Homabay, but we demand the immediate transfer and removal of the Nyanza regional police commandant and all the officers who aided the violence upon our people. We don't want that woman in Kisumu and where she can work for the people instructing her to hurt our people. And this I'm demanding should be done no sooner than we leave here. We don't want her in Kisumu. We demand the immediate and firm action against the Linda Mwanchi leadership for the violence meted against our people. We ask the state security apparatus, and I mean the state security apparatus, and they are under the Constitution. It is not just the police, including NIS, the state security apparatus, including KDF, to arrest, investigate, arrest, and prosecute Governor James Orengo, Honorable Babu Owino, Honorable Karoli Omondi, and Edwin Sifuna for planning, killing, and maiming our people under the guise of the 16th August rally. We demand the immediate arrest of all the listed thugs and criminals Governor James Orengo and Honorable Babu Owino and Sifuna used to harm our people on 16th and have provided their list. We demand investigations and action by the state security apparatus of the funding and support to the Linda Mwanchi group by President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Rigathi Gachagua. I've told you Uhuru Muigai delivered 100 million to Governor James Orengo in the night of 14th. I've also told you that Rigathi Gachagua, that guy you always see around him wearing hoods, Morara, was in Homabay with Olivetti commanding the team that was killing our people. I thank you very much. I want to request my colleagues to make additions. Then we can. Let them make comments. Then we can respond to your issues. Ask questions. Those I need to respond to, I will. Those other colleagues of mine who have not spoken could also. Yes.
I've not heard you condemn the violence that happened in Homabay. Instead, you are blame gaming and trying to throw mud elsewhere. Do you regret that the violence happened in Homabay too? Did you participate in a meeting that planned the violence in Homabay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to add to that, it's that's a short one. You said for almost a week or 2 weeks, the hype was there and all that. You sit in the security committees and all that. The NIS gets a big budget, I think almost 50 billion. Don't you see, based on what you've read?
NIS is under a defense committee.
Sorry. Okay. Well, based on what you've read and all that, based on what you've read and all that, don't you think there's incompetence? I mean, it's hyped and all that. No action is taken, and does that mean that
incompetence by the police?
By the senior officials?
Yeah. Thank you. I've heard you ask your question.
Something that came to at them.
Yes, I've heard you. Any other question?
Yeah, there are some remarks that you made when you met some youths. One that if you get any person who is supporting two-term deal with him, what did you mean by the term deal, one-term deal with him?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Is there any other?
Lastly, Kenyans wonder who closed the roads for Linda Mwanchi to use the other Panya roads. ODM will never want to go and campaign in other regions.
Yes, sir. Maybe.
And finally, just
no, please. Let me respond.
Okay.
Let me respond. Let us be orderly. We are dealing with a very serious issue in which we are even asking for investigations of a former president of the country. So it's not light. The utterances which I've seen, twisted by the media without putting the whole context are the subject matter of action by the NCIC, whose letter I've just received now. Actually, I received it while, coming here. And I've instructed for the writing of a response, the most important part of which is that I relish appearing before them, except that they have not transcribed what I said properly, and they have not translated it correctly. And tied to that, let me tell you, when in the political space we say we'll deal with you, as Honorable Gogo has just mentioned, we'll deal with Orengo here. As politicians, we deal with you politically. We deal with you. I'm a very popular MP. I saw Babu Owino saying he can command people to some very bad jokes. It's too small for me and for my people. If you've been to Homabay, I'm a member of parliament. Wherever I am, people come in droves. In fact, my home is full from 5. The day I saw Governor Orengo saying that I'm meeting goons at my home, I'm going to give you the photos of the goons I was meeting. Women from across the constituency were in my home, seated on the ground. Those are the goons. Those are the goons. Okay? I, together with Governor Gladys Wanga, were at home. And I can tell you, if you don't know Governor Wanga, if you don't know CS John Badi, if you don't know PS Raymond Omolo, and how popular they are in Homabay, go with them to Homabay. You literally stop people from coming. And that is what I was telling you. Even when we were planning the economic activity with the border, people came. Can you get the whole photo of where I was speaking? Would I be so foolish to say we are going to eliminate anybody in such a in a public arena? And by the way, you take it for granted. But I think I'm far, far sharper than Orengo and Babu combined as a lawyer. If you doubt it, go and look at our degrees at the university and what we came out with. Yeah, so that is the context in which I spoke. But I've explained in this press statement why I said that hotels ought to ensure they know the guests they are hosting. And this is a requirement of the law in the Counter-Terrorism Act. Are you people forgetting that the people who bombed the US Embassy, the people who later bombed Westgate, prepared those bombs in hotels? So we made a law requiring hotel owners, even if you go with a girlfriend, their details will be given there. I was enforcing the law when I told them, ensure you have the details. Are you people here forgetting that the citizens have the power to arrest? As a representative of the people, once I have cogent information, and the police confirmed it by arresting people who are coming and displaying even the crude weapons they were coming with to Homabay. And by the way, I'm deliberately not giving details of the hotels where they were, because I protect also the business of our people, because they are giving jobs to our many people who are so many of whom are not employed like other Kenyan youths. But citizens have the right to arrest. And I can tell you, when I made that call, those dangerous thugs, most of whom are here, relocated to Kisii. I will be giving you the hotels they went to. And that is why they now came through Kisii, coming to Yugis, Rangwe, going that way. And so it is a call I would make if bad people are harbored anywhere, take occupation of any premise to, plan or execute the harming of our people. That one I will always do. I hope I've responded to all the questions.
No, incompetence.
Yes,
Incompetence.
I've told you that we are not talking of incompetence here. I'm going to give you this statement if you never listened to it properly. I'm telling you that the police were compromised by Linda Mwanchi. I've even given you details of the amount of money that was paid to the regional county commandant, and I've called for immediate removal from Homabay, and I'm damn serious about this. And everything I'm from Nyanza. If you looked at the videos with those people, didn't you see lorries of GSU officers behind and in front? Didn't you see Land Cruisers? By the way, a total of 7 of them, 5 of whom were with them, 2 remained at Kindu Bay, and that is why they were going back through Kindu Bay. And didn't you see the police with all these people as they walked through? You know what I mean? Where do you do that? Where do people, civilians, walk with pistols, non-police officers commanding people to come and walking freely the way you see that you saw them in the videos? If you don't have the videos, I'm going to give them to you. And the police never arrested them. Let me ask you, if you see the videos of these people entering Homabay town, where they are jubilating, if you can see it, who are those who are surrounding them? Were they our people? Those were people who rushed to meet them. And I've told you they even killed their own agent in that area, the lady called Lorraine, who was hit by the car Sifuna, and Babu Owino were in. And then they just left there. To date, I can tell you I have very many students who came from as far as Kisumu, Western Kenya, stranded in the villages in Homabay. Stranded in the villages. I picked a vehicle from a school in my constituency to take some and have them dumped in Kisumu so that they find their locations. That is how they have mistreated them. Because even the money Sefuna, Orengo, and Babowino promised them of 3,000, they left without giving them. So students are stranded. Police stations in Homabay County hosted students across and young people as refugees who are lured to attend this thing because of the Linda Mwanchi team. So for police, I'm saying there is no incompetence. For police, and I'm raising this, I hope the president will review this video and may hear me asking the state security apparatus to investigate these things. the police was deeply, deeply involved in planning and safeguarding these violent people, who are, by the way, very sharp. Orengo and Babu are the people moving with goons. And by the way, the people who were killed in Homabay are not the first Babawino has shot at or killed. We will speak at the right time. But I dare them to try killing my people again. I thank you very much.
Say something about the party, please.
I think you can answer this question. You're the right person. You've been attacked before. You have been attacked before.
Yes.
Now, in this one of the Goons, no, it's not becoming something serious. Whereby you want to work on your
Let me ask you not to use the term goons. You know, I've told you these are dreaded thugs, most of whom are facing, even as we speak, robbery with violence charges. These are people who are dreadful. These are people who are ruthless. They kill you without mercy. Ask about somebody like the Olivetti I'm talking about. And I'll be giving you photos of Babawino with Olivetti in parliament here. Several times. I'll give you photos of Orengo everywhere he's going with this Olivetti. Why don't you also ask, why is it that it is when they were coming to Homabay that there is this hap, there is no goons in Homabay. I can tell you if there were goons, your media would have reported them. Those were people who are resisting the provocation and the incitements by Orengo and Babu. I thank you very much.
Those people who barricaded the major highways, what do you call them?
They were young people who were incited. They were young people, of course, who were incited by the provocation and incitement to Babu. You remember Babu said he is going to colonize Homabay. You remember Nani said they are going to fight Homabay. What they go record Homabay? What they you don't understand Luo. If anybody, and that is why I'm thanking God for their restraint. I know those people. If they were to fight back, I doubt we would be in this situation where we are now, which is still also regretful. The goons of Babawino and others, they are the ones who are working with them. And the issue is, how would the media be attacked when they are surrounded with the police officers, with people walking with firearms all over? You know, these people came to Homabay, I can tell you now, so that they provoke our people and we attack people like Sifuna. So that Western Kenya, for instance, are told, your son has been beaten up. This is the political choreography of Rigathi and Orengo. When we refused to do so, they had to go doing their things. For the first time, you saw Mike move his Sonko in Homabay in Linda Mwanchi rally. In which one have you seen him before? And you remember his statements about the banning of vehicles of ODM the other time. Yeah. And for the first time, you see vehicles burnt all over. How could vehicles with guns, vehicles surrounded by armed people and police, be banned there? That's why I'm asking for investigations. They banned them.
I think a question has been asked about the party.
About the party.
Thank you very much. I think the young lady asked a question about is going to be restricting candidates who do not belong to the party from going to the strongholds of ODM. First of all, I'd like to say that Honorable Orengo, Honorable Babu, Honorable Sifuna, currently as it is, those are members of ODM. And I would also like to state that in its existence for the last 20 years, ODM has stood firm in its fight for democracy. ODM has stood firm in its fight against violence. ODM has stood firm in its fight to ensure that Kenyans are free to move anywhere and to campaign anywhere, as is declared or stated in our constitution. So I'd like to categorically state that even in this coming year of electioneering, ODM still upholds those virtues, and ODM states and will stick to ensuring that every Kenyan can go anywhere and can campaign anywhere so long as they do it peacefully. And as members of ODM, we will also ensure that we stick to those rules. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just one question. Just wanted to know, do you agree with...
Diluting.
Yeah, we are given him very important. Go and publish that.
I thank you very much, our colleagues from the Fourth Estate. And I want to thank Honorable Kaluma also for giving an extensive account of the goings on that particular day. I was also in Homabay, and I'm not new to the things that were going on in Homabay, but allow me, friends, to start by saying pole to families who lost their relatives, to families whose relatives are in hospital, and also to people who had their property damaged on that particular day. Any form of violence and whoever instigates it is completely abhorrent and despicable. We don't want violence instigated by whoever for whatever reason. Because when we do this, when people get hurt, people are now in hospital, who is going to take care of their bills? So we completely would not want any form of violence in whichever part of the country in this electioneering period. Having said that, my own governor, the Honorable Dr. Gladys Wanga, had given a statement to the effect that any person who wants to go to Homabay should go and have their activities in peace and leave. The same governor had actually welcomed the Linda team, Linda Ngowa.
Linda Gachagua.
Yeah.
And Uhuru.
Yeah, she welcomed the Linda team to Homabay to come and have their rally and leave. What more can a leader do? What else did anybody expect Governor Gladys Wanga to do? And I hear somebody saying that it was Wanga, Kaluma, Ogindo who planned this violence. And they are not giving us, they are claiming to have an audio which they are not sharing with the public. That this audio has been sent to President, to Sujui DCI, to Sujui what. It is of public interest that you share this audio if it is genuine. If that audio is there, give it out as evidence to the public, not to kuendaenda if you don't go round and round in circles. We are also interested, we are stakeholders. In Homabay, I'm a member of parliament for Rangwe constituency. We want to know, even as we want to know, come up with the truth. If it was Gogo who organized, Gogo should be held accountable. If it is who organized, they should be held accountable for their activities. In Linda Mwanchi, keep threatening. We are coming. If you look at the Honorable Karoli's statement before they left their last station, he was saying, we are going to war. You are going to war with who? Homabay. You are going to go war with who? The people of Homabay, where you come from. Seriously, this is very unfortunate. I've also seen it taking round that Homabay is a dusty town. Where? If the Honorable Karoli in his own constituency, for fear of reprimand by his constituents, because he's never in the constituency, he decided to follow Panya routes that go to the toilets with the Linda Mwananchi group. Who is to blame here? Because in every constituency there are Panya routes, and not all Panya routes are tarmacked. I want to talk about the work that is ongoing in Homabay by way of tarmacking by the national government. In any case, Rangwe is tarmacked almost everywhere where I come from. There is the dwelling of the in and out way into Homabay town. There is also the Lala Ruga Road is being tarmacked. The Nyalkinyi Imbo Road is being tarmacked. The Gor Mahia Ring Road is about 70% done. Rangwe Oboke Road from Rangwe is being tarmacked. Actually, the work is finished. Rangwe Ndiru Road is being tarmacked. Kadel Kanyathiang Road, Kilusi, Opanga, Ramba, Kadongo Road, Ramba Lida Road is under tarmac. Adiedo Nambakarabok is under tarmac. Agolo Muok, Seka Otati is under tarmac. Luanda Osodo Kanyakiamo is under tarmac. Nyabera Kona Koguta is under tarmac. Njeri Pala Road is under tarmac. Sindo roads, which Honorable Kaluma, Honorable Karoli may not be aware, and it is in his constituency. The roads within Sindo town are earmarked for tarmacking. They are being tarmacked right now. Then we have Mbita, Sindo, Kiabuya Road.
That's why we say Ruto two-term, consciously.
So, there are people who think that the president is not working. But it must also come clear through this media conference that even Ruto has his friends. Hate him, you are one term, you are 8th term, but there are people who are strongly two-termers. And strongly two-termers by dint of where Baba left us. Baba left us with Gor Mahia, Baba left us with Gladys Wanga, and Baba left us with Ruto. And that's where we are. I want to say this. If you are jealous of Honorable Gladys Wanga, the governor of Homabay County, because of her popularity among people, by dint of being the ODM chairperson, and also for the work that she's done for Homabay people, if you go to Nyawawa, in the middle of nowhere, in Homabay, you will find houses that have been done by county government for medical staff that work in that area. And anybody who is fearing Wanga, please brace yourself for a longer time seeing her, because Wanga is two-term and she's going to be re-elected. So just spare her for us so that she can serve the people of Homabay, whom she took an oath of office to serve. Another thing I want to say, so that I can give someone else an opportunity to talk. Wanga is unstoppable. I'm hearing people talk of tsunamis. Wanga is a tsunami, my friend. And apart from that, wakishikana na Ruto hivi, Homabay imeenda. And so has Nyanza gone in the basket of the Honorable President of the Republic of Kenya. The greater Nyanza. Come, you know, not everybody goes to the park to see the animals. Some people go to the park for the animals to see them. If you come to Homabay thinking that you have seen a crowd and now we were welcomed like nicely, they had come to see how misconstrued in ideas you are, even to start thinking that Ruto will not be elected. My friend, I can assure you, as Dr. Lillian Gogo, I'm a friend of Ruto, and you know I call him William. And William is going to be re-elected. Whether you harass Wanga, whether you harass Kaluma, whether you harass Homabay people, I can give you my word that Homabay, Kisumu, Siaya. How come Orengo has not taken Linda? Is Linda what now? Okay, whoever they are lindering, how come Orengo has not taken this Linda thing to his home county where he is the CEO? Every time he drinks and he feels he's so drunk with Changa, he crosses the road and goes to Homabay. Nyatieng, what do you want from us? And you know, I am not threatening Nyatieng, but Nyatieng, we will deal with you.
She's nothing.
Yeah. I have said, so don't look for Gogo. Once I'm done, today I will be going to Rangwe. Anybody who is looking for me, I will be in Rangwe. But let Nyatieng not take Changa, and then he crosses by ferry, he comes to Chokoza Gladys, then he goes back. He comes and tells Gladys and printable words, as if women leaders, we care about panties. Not anymore. We used to be intimidated with panties earlier. But now, even if you tell me that I'm wearing a red panty, I will not cry. So let us leave our governor alone so that she can deliver her mandate to the country and to the Homabay people. I thank you.
Thank you.